So you feel like you're playing pretty well, you feel like you're swinging the club pretty good for you, but how do you actually ensure that those skills that you have mean that you can shoot under your handicap? That's exactly what we're going to show you in this video, with some tips that you can take straight to the golf course next time you play to ensure you smash your handicap. So I've enlisted the help of Alistair Davis, who's going to help me today help you shoot lower scores, smash your handicap with some top tips that you can use next time you play to help you shoot lower than your handicap. This video is brought to you by Y Foods. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later in the video, but let's get straight into the first tip that can help you shoot lower scores.
Okay, so we're here on the range. Now it's vital that you warm up in some capacity before you play. From a technical point of view, from a mental point of view also. And physically what we're trying to do is avoid injuries. The research shows that if you do some form of physical warm-up before you play, you hit better shots and you avoid injury, and you actually hit longer shots. So what Chris is doing here now is working through the bag. He's starting with the smallest club, his wedge, or a sand wedge if you like, and he's starting with smaller swings. Then he's changing club every 2 balls. So he's going from a kind of sand iron club to like a short iron club, then he'll go to a longer iron club and probably finish with a few woods. Now lots of you might be saying, well, there's no range at my golf club. There's only a practice ground, or there's no practice ground at my golf club. So a net is just as good to do these things. We're not really looking at the outcome of the shots. If Chris was hitting shots today with a fade, which would be unusual for him, what we would say to him is go with that fade for that round. Play with what you've got, accept what you've got. Don't necessarily try and change your swing before you play. Certainly try and establish some fields if that's what you're working on with your coach for sure, but it's more about accepting the ball flight you've got and getting a level of confidence to take to the golf course. If you haven't got a net, then what we'd advise is a dynamic warm-up. So things like lunges with rotations with the golf clubs, things that just get your body moving. This should help you just be better prepared for when you get to the golf course, again, to lower your scores.
So Alistair's hit a tee shot here, and it's really not that bad. He's only missed the fairway by 5 or 6 paces, but he's found himself behind this tree and he's 150 yards out. So when you do that, it's often really tempting to try and hit that hero shot, that career shot, the one that you see all the best players in the world hit. So the shot here might be one where Alistair tries to draw it around that tree and get the ball onto the green, but that's the shot which is unfortunately really difficult for many people to achieve, and the results very often aren't as good as you'd like them to be. So that ball's gone straight into the tree, and really from there the ball can go anywhere. It can ricochet backwards or left into the long rough, and that's really where it's really easy to rack up those high numbers. So I really want you to go over the rule of 70-30. If you don't feel like you can pull the shot off 70% of the time, I don't want you to attempt it. I want you to try and play safe. Remember, you've got a handicap for a reason. That handicap is there to help you in situations like this. So a better option for Alistair here would be to try and play to the right of the tree. He can still advance it probably some 70, 80, maybe even 100 yards down the fairway, but it's going to mean that it's probably only going to cost him 1 shot from here rather than 2, 3 or 4. And as soon as you have one of those high numbers on your scorecard, it can be round over.
So we see this far too often. We're on the 17th hole, starting to get tired mentally and physically. You've come off a poor 16th hole. You just go through a really poor process, no major routine, and then you start hitting poor golf shots. It's massively important that you try and have a process that lasts the whole round, that lasts every shot. The process that we would recommend would involve a few key pieces. One would be visualizing the shot by standing behind, imagining the ball flight that you're going to hit. A rehearsal of your swing, telling your brain what you want your body to do throughout the hit. Picking a spot to aim at, to align yourself, to make sure you're not doing simple errors poorly on the course. Making sure you breathe and you're focused, stepping in and going through the steps you would do, club behind the ball, feet aligned, getting relaxed, and then trying to have a nice simple swing thought during the actual execution. I always like my golfers as well just to have that slight pause, that slight pose at the end of the swing, and then switch off, put the club back in the bag and forget about the shot and move on.
So this next tip is all about appreciating that every shot counts, and a shot on the green is worth the same as a tee shot. And often when you lag a putt up like Alice has done here, he'll often say to his playing partners, I'll go ahead and finish, and he misses. So we need to make sure that we are fully focused and fully concentrated on all of our shots. So from that situation, Alistair really needs to mark his ball. He needs to treat it like any other shot and give it his full attention. Maybe even wait for his playing partners to hit their putts before it's his turn. He'll then, as you see here, go through his full routine. He's lined the ball up, and by going through his full process, he's going to give himself a much better chance of holding this putt, and that in turn is going to help him keep his score going and avoid those bogeys, double bogeys, or even worse, triple bogeys from your scorecard. So this next tip is incredibly important and often overlooked by so many golfers. How many times have you been on the golf course and had a fantastic front nine, a couple under your handicap, but then towards the back nine, performance starts to drop, scores start to go a little bit more upwards, and we shoot over par? And very often it can be because your concentration and your focus is a lot poorer on the back nine than it was on the front nine. And that's down to less hydration and less energy, because you're out on the golf course for 4 to 5 hours, and very often we're not taking on enough fluids or enough energy to keep your focus and your attention on that golf shot. This is a product by Y-Food. It's a meal replacement drink. And this is what I carry on the golf course to ensure that doesn't happen. Because it is now 12:30, this is normally when I have my lunch. I'm just about walking onto the 10th tee, and I'm going to take this as a meal replacement. It's going to give me energy for up to 5 hours. It's gluten and lactose free, and it's exactly what I need to make sure that my back nine performance is as good as my front nine performance. Ideally, we'd be having you eat and drink every few holes to keep those energy levels and the hydration in your body. So the reason I like this so much is it's absolutely hassle-free. I haven't got to worry about preparing food the night before, or worrying when I got to the golf course about where I can grab a sandwich from, or having something in my golf bag. I just put it in, it's there, and I can drink it throughout the round of golf, and it's going to make sure that my performance stays high because my energy levels are also incredibly high.
Chris finds himself on the fairway, unusually, some people might say, but he's right by the 150 marker. So most golfers will just get out a club that goes 150 yards and play. What we want them to do is work out what we call the net yardage. So that one's come up way short. So he's thinking now he probably needs a new set of clubs and blaming that rather than thinking about he hasn't worked out the yardage correct. So it's 150 to the flag. It's into the wind. Today we'd class this probably as a 1 club wind, so we'd be adding 12 yards on for that. The flag's also at the back of the green. The 150 marker is to the centre of the green. So there's probably an extra 10 yards for the flag, an extra 10 yards for the wind. We'd also look at elevation and run out. It's fairly flat and there's no issues with run out here, so we'd be adding that extra kind of 20 yards on. So it's really playing 170. Nice looking shot there, just the right half of the green, but a much better club. But the gut instinct is always just to go 150, it's my 9-iron, whack it away, and you end up coming short of the green. You've hit a really good shot and it costs you shots. You know, if you hit the green, you've got a long putt and it brings 3-putt into play. So we need to get the yardage worked out correctly to maximise our opportunities.
So we're on the 18th hole. It's a par 5, and that's a really good here. He's split the middle of the fairway and he's got 290 yards left into this green. Now I see this problem all too often. Alistair's grabbed his through because he knows he can't reach, so it's natural for him to go for his longest club and get it as far down there as he can. But if we get Alistair to stop what he's doing and we think about what would happen if he hits that club, it might help us choose a better club. Alistair hits his 3-wood around about 260 yards, so that's going to leave him around about 30 yards short of the green. Now, when we look at the green up there at 30 yards, that's an incredibly narrow gap. There's trees overhanging and it's probably only 20 yards wide. And even a player such as Alistair, who's a professional, his dispersion with that 3-wood over that 260 yards is going to be 25 to 30 yards. Therefore, there's a very, very good chance he's going to miss the fairway and he's going to leave himself an incredibly difficult third shot. So a much better option for Alistair is to put the 3-wood away and plan the hole out a little bit better. Alistair's going to think more about what he would like to leave himself for his third shot, and that means he's going to hit a club other than the 3-wood. And what we've now done is we've given Alistair an easier club to hit, a bigger target to hit, and he's going to have an easier third shot into this final hole. There's a greater chance of him making a birdie, and we're taking out that chance of him racking up a double or a triple on this hole. So think about the hole that you're playing and plan it out before you automatically reach for that club that you usually use. So there you are, things that you can do next time you have an event to play and a competition to play in to really ensure that you shoot lower than your handicap. We know we've all got the ability because our handicap suggests that we are at that level and we can improve on that, but we just need to put some measures in place, and hopefully the things I've brought to you in this video can help you do that. If you'd like some more information on the Y Foods product and a discount code, head down to the description box. Everything is down there. Click the link, use the code, get yourself some of those products because they're absolutely fantastic and they can help you, as we said, keep your energy levels high, keep your concentration, keep your focus, and ultimately hit some better shots. Thanks for watching. Usual stuff is down below. Comments box down there. There's a like button. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, I would love you to be so. Love you to join our community. I really believe these videos can help you play some better golf. So click down there in the link as well, and that will help you do that. Thanks for watching.